Let's check them out. All of Apple's iPhone 15 Pro FineWoven cases. Welcome everybody to Apple Insider. It is Andrew here, and alongside the iPhone 15 series, Apple introduced a new textile to replace its leather cases. It's called FineWoven, and it uses recycled materials and is more eco-friendly than Apple's prior leather alternatives. So when you're picking up your new iPhone 15 Pro, you have an option. You can go with Apple's silicone cases, you can go with the new FineWoven cases, or the plethora of third-party options. I'm going to be showing you in detail these new FineWoven cases, comparing them to Apple's leather cases, and giving you my verdict on whether or not I like them. I'm also going to show you all of the different colors that Apple has available. So let's go ahead and take a closer look. So Apple has 5 cases in FineWoven available for the iPhone 15 Pro and iPhone 15 Pro Max. All these are the 15 Pro Max cases, though they also are available for the 15 Pro. So this one here, you can barely even tell on camera, this is evergreen, so it's a very dark forest green color. This one here, this is actually black. This is the all black case. Next up, this one's called mulberry. It's kind of like a purplish hue, mulberry. Then we have taupe, which is basically Apple's tan. And then finally, Apple's Pacific blue. Let's go ahead and open these up, take a look at closer detail. Here we have the taupe case. So this is kind of a tannish brown color. So a couple things to note. Apple did keep the aluminum accents. So these are their premium cases, $60. They have a matching anodized aluminum button. So you can see here we have our side button. On the other side, we have our volume buttons as well as the new action button. So new action button here. Now this is kind of a free floating button, which is nice. So it actually kind of like hovers, which should make the actual you can almost hear that little clicking on camera. But it should make this essentially very fast when you press it down. So it should feel like you're actually pressing the real button. Sometimes buttons with third-party cases, they feel mushy almost. So I really like how Apple has done their buttons here to adapt to the new action button. On the bottom, we have our openings for our microphone and our speakers, and of course the new port for USB-C right there in the center. Other than that, this is an entirely closed-off case. So the big thing here is the material that Apple is using, what they're calling FineWoven. So I believe it does use recycled materials to create. It has a very, it's satiny kind of texture to it. It is softer than I thought it would be. In the center, we have a depressed Apple logo, so it's actually depressed right there into the FineWoven. And compared to the leather cases, it doesn't wrap all the way around, so it actually stops along this edge, and then it transitions to these bumper plastic-like sides. I can't entirely tell if there's a piece of fabric wrapped around the sides, like the FineWoven fabric, or if it's just textured, but these sides of these do feel like they're not smooth. There is a texture to the sides of these cases. So it gives a little bit more grip to it, and it feels similar to the back, but the back has almost like a padding in there. So overall, I like the feel of it. Then inside, instead of microfiber, it appears Apple is too using, that's just the FineWoven fabric on the inside. And yes, these all do work with MagSafe, like you would expect, and they even have like the little color animations as you put them onto your phone. So this is the taupe case in FineWoven. The next one up, this is Apple's Evergreen. So this is like a dark green case, and this is a good time to compare it to Apple's old leather cases. So this is the Evergreen. This is Apple's previous green case, which is kind of like it's almost like a bluish green. But that's Apple's leather cases. So I can see how Apple used to wrap the leather all the way around. Now FineWoven stops on those edges. So that's just a little bit of a difference. I was a huge fan of the leather cases. They had this microfiber interior. I really liked these. And to be perfectly honest, I kind of still prefer the feel of these leather cases to FineWoven. I'm going to give these a chance, but I really like the feel of the leather cases that Apple had in the past. These just don't feel quite as premium as the leather cases. So this is the Evergreen compared to the green leather case. We can move on to mulberry, which is a purplish color, reddish purple color. There we go. Matching inside, matching sides. Slightly darker on the sides for this one, but this is mulberry. Then we have black. This is Apple's black case. I'm glad they have it just a full black, not like a midnight or anything. This is just black, just called black. Then finally, we actually have this one with our dummy unit on the inside. So this is the blue, the Pacific blue color. I like this one. It looks really nice. Easy to press buttons, action button, everything lined up with our dummies, which is very cool. So yeah, you can see everything with a dummy phone in there, our ports along the bottom. This is Pacific blue in the new FineWoven cases. Here's one more group shot for good measure. All of Apple's FineWoven cases for the iPhone 15 and 15 Pro Max. As a quick bonus, Apple does have a FineWoven version of its MagSafe wallet. So let's go ahead and open this up and compare it to the existing wallet. So here they are, FineWoven over here and leather over here. Functionally, they look the same. It works with the Find My app and all of that, just using the new FineWoven material. It feels very satiny, velvety almost. It's an interesting feel to it, I'll be honest. One question I did see already popping up was people asking about water resistance and durability on these cases. They should be very water resistant. I mean, there's nothing in here that should be damaged by water. I dumped some water on these and just kind of peeled off a little bit, like soaked in a bit, but not a ton. They seem like they should be just fine with some water on them. I splashed some water on this guy. I don't even notice it. But it does still show some damage from like pressing down on it. Like I did have a fingernail mark already on the one case. And they do hold lint a little bit, which is it's a little interesting. So those are Apple's FineWoven cases. Like I said, they feel very nice, they do feel premium, but I really like the leather cases. But I know that people had ethical concerns because of the animal hides used and because of the eco nature of leather. It just takes a lot more resources to produce versus something like FineWoven. So I get why Apple is transitioning to this, and we're gonna leave it to third parties to offer up leather cases if that's something that you guys are still interested in. But I'm curious what you guys think of FineWoven in general. Let me know your thoughts on it down below in the comments on Twitter at Andrew_OSU or on threads at AndrewHeron941. Let me know if you like FineWoven. Are you going to pick up a FineWoven case or what your favorite third-party case is? Stay tuned. I have a lot more iPhone 15 coverage coming your way.